Blog Talk Radio. Pray. Thank the Lord today. Take a look around. Can love be found? We gotta stop and pray. Save this world today. My brother and sister too. Come together and we'll get through. It's out of control. Everything's out of control. Oh, what do we tell our children? For the pain we sustain is out of control. A room full of people, a nation lost for words. Tears from the brave one, a heritage to preserve. Searching in the darkness, one voice could be heard. We don't know who started this war, but we don't want to fight no more. Everything's out of control. What do we tell our children? Dig down deep in your soul. What is this world coming to? It's out of control. Can we give them one good reason? Dig down deep in your soul. Oh, for the pain we sustain is out of control. We gotta stop and pray. Thank the Lord today. Take a look around. Can love be found? We gotta stop and pray. Save this world today. My brother and sister too. My brother, sister too. We gotta stop and pray. Save this world today. Take a look around. It's out of control.
What's going on? You have tuned in to another episode of On the Move Unscripted on purpose. So basically, I got my girls, I got all my ladies, and we are ready to have some serious conversations. It's been a great week. We're ready to have some conversations. What's going on, ladies?
Hey, ladies.
How So we gotta start off by finding out first how everybody's week was, because I know we got some deep topics today. But first, I want to find out about y'all. So let's start with who did I start with last time? Misty. We'll start with you, Misty. So Misty, tell us how your week was.
My week is going okay. I'm still waiting, of course, but hey, I gotta still wait and keep on keeping on. But pretty much it's been good and smooth sailing for me.
Okay, it's pretty out here in Ohio too. It's like I don't know, like
it is pretty out here today.
Like 90 or something. Did y'all have a tornado touchdown anywhere in y'all area? Because I remember hearing them sirens. It had been so long since I heard them sirens. It was like 6 o'clock in the evening, and I heard them sirens. I'm like, wait a minute, though. That's ooh, I didn't hear this in a long time. That rock siren. Oh snap! Yeah, I heard that. But it didn't take down over there on your side of town, right?
Well, on my side of town.
I don't know what happened. On your side of town, what you say, Marie?
On my side of town, my neighbor 2 doors down, his tree split in half. I'm like, man, and I don't know if it was from lightning because I saw a little bit of light. It was like 5 minutes. The sky turned dark, and the wind came quick, but I didn't actually see a tornado touch down because it was like, go to shelter, get to shelter. So as I'm getting everything to go down in my basement for shelter, I suddenly don't hear no rain or nothing. So I came upstairs to peek out. The sun was back out. I mean, it lasted about 5 minutes, but there was some debris in my yard, and there was some debris around. Not a lot.
Yeah, you're right. It didn't last long. It wasn't like a long storm, but it was enough to have you go in that basement, in that bathroom, or wherever. And I was like, they was laughing at me because I'm like trying to get my fat butt up under the dang old sink. Because I heard that turned in a long time. So I don't know. Yeah. So how
Wednesday? It comes on every Wednesday for the test at noon. So whenever I hear it and it's not Wednesday or noon on Wednesday, I know like, I hear. That's a clear alert.
Right. So how was your week, Marie?
My week was pretty good. It's been very productive. A couple of things I told you guys. I got my finger in a couple pots, so everything is going to plan, and I can't wait. I'll probably share in a couple weeks. I kind of want to make sure everything is still up on the up and on the positive. Besides that, I've been blessed. I'm happy to know that the dance studios are back open, so I go back to dance class next Tuesday. And I got so used to working out, then the gym's closed, but I swim, I do laps. So I got an email from the Y telling me that they reopen on the 29th. So, it kind of took me, I wasn't really in a dump, but I just felt a little displaced from my normal routine. So I'm happy to know that everything is getting back in order. And that's about it.
They had a picture on Facebook or maybe it was YouTube. It was somewhere, and they had people on the beach, and it was like, people are not worried about corona. I said, no, people tired. They don't want to live in fear anymore. It's just like, okay, we know the virus is out here. We know we need to protect ourselves, but do we want to stay in the house all summer long in fear that we might catch it? No. So we just, people just like they don't want to live in fear anymore. That's how I see it. So everybody's like ready to roll, ready to rumble. So, Kim, how was your week? Hello?
I haven't heard Kim at all yet.
I thought I seen Kim. Kim was so stepped away from the phone. So let's see. Let's ask Deshaun. Deshaun, how was your week?
My week was growth. So
your week was
it
what?
Was growth. It was growth. Growth. GROTH. Growth. Clarity.
Okay. It's a little
I'm on this road. Yeah, and I felt good this week. So gotten things accomplished. And enjoy, talking, still staying connected to good friends. It was good.
That's good.
And got a monetary blessing. So hallelujah. So yes.
Hallelujah. You said you got a blessing.
Yes.
You said you got a money blessing. Is that what you said?
Beyond what
blessing.
Amen. Hallelujah. There's more. And there's more coming. So, you know what?
Amen.
I'm blessed.
For some reason, DJ, your phone is click-clacking, and I can't really hear what you're saying. It might be the area that you're in. So whenever you want to talk, just unmute yourself. Because I don't know what that sound is.
Okay. Is it
better
now?
Y'all. We on the move unscripted. No, not really. But we on the move unscripted.
Sorry.
It's unscripted. So I'm going to mute you for a second, okay? All right. Did Kim come back to the line?
I haven't heard her yet.
But I see her, so I don't know. Okay. So anyway, let's get to the topic at hand. Oh my God. Let's get to the topic.
Well, wait
I
a
don't even
minute,
know where to
Kristen.
start.
How was your week? How was your week? You didn't say.
Oh, snap! I didn't do that. I was really not feeling well yesterday, and I don't know if it was because I just been doing too much and something else lost, or if it was the stress of dealing with certain people, or like when I'm dealing with the artist, sometimes you get one or two that you know what I'm saying they want to come out to the left, and it just makes my rise. So I don't know. It was just yesterday was. Well, from morning to night, it was not good. I was feeling good. But today, I'm back smiling. So I'm good today. Yesterday was, yesterday wasn't good. So anyway, we can't go back to the line. I see her number there, so I'm wondering if she's like on mute or something. But she'll jump in where she fit in. So, yeah, topics. Okay. Y'all know I'll be doing my research, right?
Okay.
Y'all know I do my research. Okay. So the officer, the ex-cop that, is accused of, and we all saw murder George Floyd. I remember us talking a show or two ago, and I was telling y'all that they both worked at the same nightclub. Like, the officer had been there for like 17 years, and George had only been there a year. And I was just like, there's no way that the officer didn't recognize him because, being a cop all that long, you pay attention to your environment. You've been there for 17 years. You know who's coming in, who's going out. You know faces. You just do. That's just the name of the game. So there's no way that he couldn't have known him. I didn't know if they ever spoke or anything, but I felt like he recognized him. So this week, we kind of find out from somebody, a coworker at the club, that not only did they know each other, but they had bumped heads. Now, when I hear the word bumped heads, that means they didn't have a conversation about something or other or something. They had an argument or two. Somebody said something somebody didn't like. So that puts a twist on this story because that means that might have been personal. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. When I had heard about it, they were talking about some kind of money that George was in charge of before he handed it down to the other cop guy. That something about how the other cop got paid was through Floyd after the manager lady gave Floyd the money. Floyd was to pay the other officer, and the other officer felt like Floyd was cheating him out of his money. But come to find out, Floyd was just passing out the checks how he was giving them.
Oh, wow. You've really been doing some investigation. Wow. That's what you read somewhere?
That is pretty deep. And that would be horrible if that man got killed off of something personal. That would be horrible. Because that means he used his position, even after the other officers said, I don't feel a pulse, he still refused to take his knee off of his neck.
He knew what he was doing. That was done maliciously and on purpose.
Right.
Can y'all hear me?
I'm just like, yes, is that Kim? I knew you was there. I'm like,
yes, oh my God. I've been on here the whole damn time.
That's not fun. When we said your name, you didn't answer. So,
I was talking. It's like y'all had me on mute. I was talking the whole time.
No, we didn't hear you. So, no, I let you off of mute. You was not on mute. But anyway, I'm telling you, I just heard the line say unmuted. So because you just called back in. Your first number dropped. I had to call back in, but twice I've been on the phone talking, and y'all couldn't hear me say nothing. Oh, these people got me on mute. Take immediately. Take a breath, Kim. Take a breath, Kim. So how was your
Hey, Kim, girl.
Hey, sister.
Just continue. I'll tell you about my week later. Go ahead and continue the conversation.
No, I want to hear about your week now.
Well, it's been dope. My week has been dope and productive and miraculous and all of that. Like things I've been trying to do for 2 years, I got done in 20 minutes. That kind of stuff in like 2 days. So when I talk about, I've been talking about getting my nonprofit up. It's up now. I've been finally filed it. I done got my stuff, my EIN for it. I got my trademark and my service mark. All that, everything. Okay, it's all lining up. Everything.
That's good.
Is lining up.
Well, I know where I need
I done spoke some other things into existence, and they are happening as well. So there we go.
Right now. Congratulations.
Yes, indeed. Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
You probably already know what we were talking about. So you know we went right into the George Floyd story. We had to go. I couldn't take it. There's a picture circulating around with George with a lot of ladies from the I'm guessing from the club. You know, they were Caucasian females or whatever. And on the caption on the top of the picture, it's like, you know, he was loved at the club. Like all the people loved him. Like he was popular there, and they felt like maybe it was some jealousy. It definitely is something personal. There is no way that it could not have been personal if they bumped heads and all that kind of stuff. Like so I'm curious. My thing is, if this is first, let me say this, right? If I know that I done tried to sell you, give you $20, and I knew that $20 wasn't real, and I done bought some chips and some beer and a pack of cigarettes or whatever the heck I done bought with this, and you tell me this ain't real, you done call the police, I'm not going to be going across the street and sit in my truck and chill till the police come. I'm going to be gone. You know what I'm saying? So I could understand after all that he was still sitting in the truck with his friend across the street or whatever, like, that part don't make sense to me. And then it's just like, what if, I don't want to say it because I don't know, but what if it was planned? If it was planned, then that would take it to murder one and not murder two, right?
Yeah.
If it was planned, it would have been wrong.
Huh?
If it's premeditated.
If it was planned, yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I just know that this plot is unraveling, but it doesn't take away from the fact that we got police brutality out here and a bunch of cops that are not good, and he just happens to be one of those type of cops that are still out there. Other people, you know, other names. So yeah, I thought that was deep. I'm like, yeah, this story is getting deeper and deeper. Like, yeah, like really deep.
Yeah. They need to I know they've been talking about doing a reform on the police, whatever. What they really need to be doing, and not just hiring based on a clean legal background. They need to be doing some different kind of psychological examination. Go deeper into these potential police officers' background historically, see what you know what I'm saying, like how they grew up, what their morals and principles and acceptances of certain things are. They're not doing right. You know what I'm saying? Like as far as how they're hiring, they got to go deeper than, okay, you passed this here written test. Anybody can pass a written test. Can you pass a psychological examination outside of the normal? You know what I'm saying? Like give them something that is not expected. Throw them in a scenario and see how they respond. You know what I'm saying? That type of thing needs to happen, and that's just my thoughts. But they need to be thrown off guard. They need to be thrown off guard before they can even apply for it, for real. You know what I'm saying? When you know you're getting ready to take a test, you know how to study for it. When you get one thrown on you and you haven't been given the subject matter, you just got to go with what you think you know. At that time, you just gonna react. So they need to be monitored on how they react when they don't have the information. When they don't have all the information, how do they respond? What happens when their emotions kick in? You know what I'm saying? What happens? How do they respond when they're afraid? All of that. That's important.
Right. And not only that, but I I think they're trying to make it now where the men always be coming up messing with stuff. What are you doing, Mr. Stout? What you messing with? I hear that stuff in the background to the woman. This one of those things. You start touching stuff. But
something is happening I think DJ is muted out now.
Yeah, because she has some. I told her to mute her. Did I unmute her? I think I unmuted her, didn't I? Maybe I didn't. So she
DJ, you there?
Let me. She just needs to mute it when she's not
Hello,
talking.
guys.
Maybe she needs to call back in.
No,
yeah.
can you guys hear me?
Yeah, why don't you try calling back in, DJ, because you got a lot of static on your end.
Okay, I'm going to hang up. Bye-bye.
Okay, and then call right back. Okay. Another thing that needs to happen, I think, is they definitely need to be checking these officers' reports. Like, I can't understand how we can't get a credit card because of something we did 6 years ago, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. Or prisoners, when they get out of prison, they can't find the job they want because they're still holding it against them 10, 15 years later. But these cops can have a list longer than my arm, and they still ignore. Like, they need to be doing that too. Like, 3 strikes, you out. Like, 3, 4 strikes, no, we can't hire you. Like, why are you still hiring police officers that you know got a problem with that? You know what I'm saying? Or
right.
Gotten in trouble, had all these complaints and stuff. People are not complaining about these officers for nothing. They're complaining because there was something happened. You know what I'm saying?
Because they menaces. They're menaces. They're the same thing they call us, a menace to society.
Right. We got a caller on the line. Your number starts with 908.
Oh, what's up?
Hello?
Yeah,
what's up? So, who is this?
It's Naj.
What's going on? So, did you have something that you want to add to our conversation?
Well, yeah. The thing you're hearing right now is a lot of people talking about defund the police. Angela Davis, some of these people have been talking about this for decades, and that's the thing that makes the most sense. Because when it comes down to it, most of these cities and counties are under the gun right now because of Corona, as far as money and everything else. And when you look at these budgets, what's the biggest expenditure? It's the police force. So you're paying all this money for people to what? Abuse their power, beat the hell out of people, kill people, get into altercations and not de-escalate, show up on the scene and escalate situations. Hell, sometimes we call the police and they come, and before you know it, we the one going in handcuffs for calling the damn police to address something. So that's just something that needs to be reformed, man. Like, step one, they're saying take mental health care out of their hands. And you create a facility and personnel to handle mental health in the city. Then the second part is homelessness. You create a facility and personnel to handle homelessness. You take all that right out of their budget, and then you move on to what? Child care services and other essential things you need within a city. You can't just keep dumping it all into that. You can look, man, New York, the budget for the police is $6 billion, okay? You go out to Seattle, it's $400 million. And you look at all the rest of the services for those cities, and that stuff just pales in comparison. Like, that's the thing that's eating up all the budget. So we're getting brutality and paying top dollar for people who are what? Working on a salary paid by you and me and everybody else. So it's insane, man. And as far as them, that union got to go. The FOP, that got to go, man. You can't protect people who are abusing people's rights for years and hide them, and everybody else act like they don't see it within the department. So until they willing to go to internal affairs and turn in the bad ones, I don't want to hear nothing about bad apples or anything like that. That whole thing needs to be reformed and changed. And this is the moment, man. The kids went out there and did what they had to do. Respect to the kids, those peaceful and those not peaceful. Because I know some of y'all old black folks start clutching your pearls when you seen some of them tearing stuff up as if we didn't do it a generation ago and a generation before that and the generation before that. So salute to those kids, man. They're doing good work, and we're going to see some change within this society.
So where are you calling out of? What state are you, or what city?
I'm in Atlanta.
Where are you calling from? Oh, you in the ATL. Okay, you out there with my girl, Kitty Winnie.
Yes, sir. So let me ask you a question. I want to ask a question.
Wait a minute. Ask him to shout out your side. Are you south side or east side? What side? Who you rocking?
East side.
College Park? Yeah.
No, East side. No, East side.
Okay. East side. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I never got my question. Don't worry about it. It'll come back.
I respect the caller's opinion because even though there's a lot of social profiling, it's mainly in our men. They are 4 times as likely to get arrested before a white man will. So I do respect that, and I do feel like they should defund because that's a lot that they want the police department to do. But unless you have people who are experienced, because I'm a psych nurse, you need people who are experienced, who can recognize the signs that something's not quite right with people. Because some people, if they're high off of something or if they're off their meds, they're already out of reality. And a police officer, their first response is to shoot, unless you be like, hey, he's nuts. He's been off his meds. Then they may tase or they'll take them down and put them in net care or whatever psych facility or hold them for 72 hours. So, but there does need to be something. We have quite a few homeless shelters here, but at the end of the day, you could really only help people who want to be helped. I did, when I took psychology, I interviewed quite a few homeless people on an assignment. And to my shocking surprise, a lot of them that, to my knowledge, that I've talked to, did not really ask for the help. I didn't ask you to help me, and that was the attitude. Maybe that was because of despair, or maybe they felt like they just had hit rock bottom, but that's what they had. So, that also causes a concern because you got people that make more money standing begging for money than you do going to work. I gave a man a couple of dollars that just looked plumb crazy, and he tried to put the dollar in his pocket. And when he lifted his hand out of his pocket, he had a wad of money. I'm like, well, obviously, he made way more money than me today, and he can never get another dime from it. And I meant that.
Put it like this. Put it like this, though. Would you rather have somebody who's a trained personnel who understands mental health issues and everything else approaching that person, or would you rather have a police officer approaching that person? So it's just a thing of they're not even qualified to do it. Like, we're keeping it a buck. Like, that's not their gig. And as far as, like, the second person you said, like a homeless person who's scamming or whatever, hey, man, it ain't a system you can create where it ain't going to be some form of scamming within it. But the overall good is what it's about. So it's like when somebody gets mad because they see somebody in the food stamp line with some steaks or some shrimp or something. It's like, okay, that person is going without for a couple of days because they want to ball one day. Let them have it, man. Because when it comes down to it, the kids who are actually being fed and the families who need it are more important than the few who are trying to get over. Hell, y'all ever put up candy bars at your office and tell people to put $1 in the basket? How long before somebody take a damn candy bar and there ain't enough money to match up what's in the back? You know what I'm saying? Like, there's going to be scammers throughout life in anything. The overall good is what it's about.
You're right.
Okay, so I remember that question.
They'll steal your daughter's candy bars and smile at you in the break room like they didn't. You know what I mean?
You made mention, brother, of internal affairs. And that is that people need to start complaining or filing grievances or whatever with internal affairs to pretty much check these police officers. But again, to remind you that FOP is a fraternal order of police. It's a brotherhood. We talked about this before. It's a brotherhood, it's a sisterhood, whatever. They're not expected, I'll put it that way, to complain, to turn in one another. And who is holding the internal affairs accountable? Because they're responsible for taking care of what's going on within the FOP. So who's watching them? Who's holding them accountable? Because some of them ain't right either. So there's a problem all around. You know what I'm saying? You can't just say, well, we're going to go over here, we're going to go into IA. Well, yeah, good luck with that. They're part of the FOP. They're part of it. You're trying to go to the head of the gang to complain about the gang members. How does that work? That's not.
That's
not going to work.
Right. So where was that? Where was I think it was Florida. One of those officers, or maybe it was the organization or whatever. They was telling all the officers who had gotten fired or released because of what was going on that they could come there. You have to come here. The tax is cheap. What do you say? The tax is cheap. You don't have no mayor governor messing with you, and he ended up getting suspended. Was that Florida?
It's
I can't
gotta
remember
be.
if that was Florida.
Florida, I think, is the only state that they don't have taxes. That's probably why their stuff is so high, but they don't pay taxes.
Okay. Well, they was recruiting them. I'm like, so you want all the bad seeds in Florida? You want to torture all of Florida? You know what I'm saying? You give all the bad cops from all over the world. Come on over here to Florida. Come out there, ain't ready.
No, they say the devil's always busy. No, Florida man is always busy. That's why you see the news stories about Florida man does X, Y, Z. But to the sister's point about internal affairs, no, I was making that point to say when these people tell you, oh, those are a couple of bad apples, da 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 da. It's like, okay, if there was just a couple of bad apples, then they would be going to internal affairs and telling on them. Obviously, since they're not telling on them, then they're complicit in it. And to give y'all a story, remember the DOJ report from the Obama years where they went to Baltimore? There was a cop down there who said, I'm going to go to internal affairs, see a bunch of stuff that they're doing that's wrong. He went to internal affairs. Next 2 days, it was a rat on his windshield. That dude quit the force and moved out of Baltimore. Yeah. So I'm just saying that to expose the lie about the bad apple thing they like to say, man. But, yeah, internal affairs should not be internal. It should be an outside group overseeing that, not some ex-officers or people who are affiliated.
Well,
I'm with you on that.
They need to have government, federal, that's across the board, that every police station across the country has to follow. There's certain things they need to have in order. They need to have in place, and I think that's what they're working on, or hopefully that's what they're working on. But the thing is, what's up with what is it? What y'all call him? 45? Y'all don't even call him by his name. What's up with him? Like he's about to start having he's about to start doing his Republican, campaign for re-election, which I don't even know why. No. Go ahead, but the thing is, he's going to do it on Juneteenth. You know what that is for African Americans. That's the day he's going to start it. So I'm just like,
I'm surprised. He just raggedy. That's what he do. His main speechwriter and one of his advisors, Stephen Miller, is probably the one who came up with that. The fact that you're going to go to Tulsa, Oklahoma on Juneteenth, which is a slap in the face to black people. Hopefully we hold events outside of there and don't show up there to confront them, ignore their ass, and leave them alone. But, yeah, man, we got 4 years of this. Event after event after event, distraction after distraction. He's a raggedy, fat, lying game show host who somehow made this happen. And, we're watching the disaster in real time. What's the
in all fairness, though, y'all forget what we're dealing with, okay? And that's why I brought up the other topic, Patricia, so we can kind of ease into it if you don't mind. Because while we keep losing, while things are not happening, we're forgetting that these countries, what we call countries, the United States of America, Snakes of America, whatever the hell, all these countries are corporations. They're businesses. The people that are called presidents, that's a position in the corporation. They are hired. You keep going after the person who is being hired and not the person who has the ability and authority to do the hiring. We're going after you know what I'm saying? It's like you mad at the owner, so you attack the manager. We gotta find who the fuck is the owner? Who owns this corporation? They are allowing these people to be in positions. They're hiring these people to be in these positions and do what they do. These are clowns. They're puppets. They're doing what they're told to do. He ain't the man. He is just the face of the corporation, period. Right. So getting rid of that does not stop the agenda. It don't stop nothing from moving until you find out who the hell owns the corporation and bankrupt that ass. Period.
The same way.
Got to get brought out.
the same way that America came together to elect our first African American president, that needs to be the same way that they all vote to send a message like, no, we don't want him. And true enough, the electoral colleges, they didn't listen to us last time. That's how they got it. That's why we went through all this for the last 4 years. But I hope that they listen this time, and I think they are, because he's left a lot of states. In fact, Ohio is always one of them states that they say if the president doesn't get this state, they usually don't get the election. And we've already been like, no, we did. They tore it downtown.
See, here's my problem. My problem is black people will get out there and march. Black people will get out there and protest. But in order to get true change, you have to change within that corporation. You got legislation that's been let to slide. You know, the House has been trying, but you got the Senate that goes along with, because it's mostly Republican. Now, this protest has been going on now, you know, where it's made worldwide recognition. I do believe they're going to have to do something. But we are going to have to vote. I mean, there's been times I had people like, girl, shit, it's rain. I just got my hair done. I ain't buying, or shit, one vote ain't going to make a difference. You know, I'm like, you got to get your ass up and get out there and vote. And for all the other people of that's non-white that get out there and vote, thank you. We love that. But don't sit up there, and there's too many of us that talk shit, but they're willing to talk the talk, but they're not willing to walk the walk. You must vote. And if y'all don't get out, because if you don't have that many people out there voting, if you see out there protesting, there's not going to be no change. It's not.
That means little Ricky that's on the corner that can still vote, go pick him up, going over there, get that bus for all the nursing home people that still can, know what's going on, go get them, go get, like, everybody needs to vote. Vote 2020. Like, you got to, if you marching, you up all day long, throwing rocks, dodging bullets, dodging rubber bullets, getting gas, you're going through all that, and you don't vote. I'm going to be looking at you like, so what are we
and we also need to come back into the community and put our time and willingness and effort into the community too, and start doing stuff that we were brought up on in the communities. You know what I'm saying? We're going to have to rise above it all and all come together.
Yeah, and I don't think we're going to have
But listen, in 2 years, I just want to say this, in 2 years, after you vote president in 2 years, you got to come back again, because then you got to, like you said, you got to change the corporation. So you got to change.
Right.
You know, you can't just stop with voting for the president, because, like we saw with Obama, if the House is not with it, it's not going to pass. So you have to come back again in 2 years and change, like Kim said, the corporation.
Right, because as many black people that vote in the presidential election, you have only a third of them that go back into, and I'm guilty of it, because I do vote now, but I just started voting every 2 years in between the presidential vote, maybe 5 or 6 years ago. So I mean, because it's like, I never even really paid attention for what all that meant, and then that's what they bank on. But, I had to put my money where my mouth was and get up and get out and vote. It's essential.
Yeah.
It is essential.
Yeah. It took me 4 hours the other day. So just put it like this, though. The people who are out right now protesting, the activists and all those people, I don't think we really got to worry about them voting. Honestly, 60% of eligible voters voting in America, that means you had a good turnout. Like, you got so many disaffected people who either vote third party or don't vote at all because they don't believe the system works. There is a criticism of both parties in saying that if you don't produce the goods and then the movement, whatever movement you created, starts to dissipate, that's on you. So when we look at 2008, he ran as a progressive, said he was going to do certain things, and then gets in and he starts trying to negotiate with Mitch McConnell and all them crazy, or John Boehner and all them crazy folks. Then before you know it, the movement started to lose steam. And then by 2010, people did not want to go out for him. So, I mean, there's a whole lot of, blame to go around on his hands as well. Once you get the belt from the people as the people's champ, you got to go fight. You can't be out here negotiating with crazy people as if they, as if companies.
All right, so let me interject here. Let me interject because I know I'm the only one that's got a different opinion here, and that's all right. I'm prepared for it. I'm prepared for the bullet.
You just feel like you're the only one, Kim. You just feel like you're the only one.
I'm the only one that got a different opinion. I know it. It's all good.
Okay, go ahead and roll with it. Go ahead and roll with it.
I'm gonna pose it as a question. Okay, we'll do that. So let's just say we work at a corporation. Okay, the president is responsible for hiring the level of employee. Okay, the managers, the supervisors, etc. Even down to the people who work there, the janitorial staff. Okay, we are hired in, if you will, as the janitorial staff. The company, the rest of the employees have an issue with the president. They have an issue with management, whatever the case is. They have a right to complain. They have a right to go over the manager's head and go to the president, and the president, you know what I'm saying, there's a whole protocol. They have a right to do that because they have certain positions. Where do you think the janitorial staff has a right to complain about anything? Where do you think the janitorial's voice is even being heard when it comes to any part of that corporation? How do you think the janitorial staff is going to make any difference as a low-level worker in the corporation? They can't even say that they're a part of the corporation because most of the time they're just contracted in. So they're not even part of the corporation. They don't have a voice in what happens in the corporation. They only have a decision whether or not they're going to continue to be contracted in the corporation. Period. All of this bullshit don't have nothing to do with us. It has shit to do with us. We're not electing anybody. The presidential positions are selected every time. Every time. If you pay attention to history, no matter who we have voted in, no matter what these people have said they're going to do, how much of our situation has changed? How much moving forward have we actually made? We are not looked at as the people that they're talking about. We don't have the power to make the changes in their corporation. All we can do is decide to not participate as contractors in the corporation, and we're not doing that.
Okay.
Why? Because we don't have the resources, because we're so used to getting that check, that stimuli check from them. We're used to getting that. We want the so-called benefits of being janitorial staff. We want that. We don't have to do too much. We just got to clean up their shit and don't say nothing. That's what we got to do. Just clean up their shit and don't say nothing. Get your
I
check,
feel like
say nothing.
I mean, too many people have been – we've got worldwide attention. You got people who I never thought even paid attention to politics, like the Amish people marching and protesting, shit that I never thought I would see in my lifetime. So I disagree with that. I feel like one of the reasons why Obama did not get a lot of things done that he wanted to get done is because the House passing, the Senate is basically Republican and shut down just about everything he tried to do. And the Senate can stop him unless the president do a veto, just pulling power like Trump has been trying to do. That's why I said it's imperative. No, when they first came out with voting, they did not have us in mind because we weren't even allowed to vote at that time, So we were not even allowed to vote until, 1865, and then it took 3 people to count. It took 3 blacks to count as 1 vote. And I'm only referring to the men because it took a couple more years before black women period, were even allowed to vote. But the voting will make a difference. I do believe that the system is going to change. It can no longer be ignored. Unlike when they did peaceful marches with Dr. King and stuff, that's when they were coming out of oppressions. That's when, these are the sharecroppers' kids. We got kids today everybody is growing up technology. You know, white kids is digging black music. Black kids are dealing with white music. And even though you had interracial marriages and relationships in the 60s, it's nothing compared to how it is today. So, you know, it's not, you know, you got a lot of mixed people that are not accepted in white society. It's sad because there's a lot of blacks that won't accept them either. But since I do have mixed grandchildren, you know, they're half African American, half Puerto Rican, you know, they're still going to be considered black. You know, so I do think it will make a difference. But to just band them way and just be on our own militant ground, I know for a fact it's not going to work, because if it was going to work, it would have worked for the Black Panthers. You know, and it was another group around here that was trying to do something and it stopped working. So I think it's better to work together. You know, I've had a lot of white people over these last couple of weeks that I work with or that I deal with, patients, that really could not understand what the big issue was. And when I was able to break it down, you know, the true history, how things came about, then, you know, they're looking at me in a whole different light. I said, you know, y'all can't even name 5 black young men between the ages of 13 and 24 that's been killed by the hands of black officers, you know, white boys. I'm like, but it's of them are ready to ride or die. And I'm glad of that. They see we're not backing down. We're not.
We're not
And
backing
they got
down, but we're not really standing up neither. We're not moving. What are we really doing that we weren't doing in previous history that's going to make a change? That's my question.
We need to do.
The picketing, we've been doing that. The boycotting, we've been doing that. The blowing up our shit, we've been doing that.
Wait.
Now what?
Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know how this works, and I've been listening for a while. I just didn't know what to do to say. I don't want to interrupt anyone, but I do have something to say when y'all done. Hello.
Yeah.
This
am I unmuted now? Am I unmuted?
okay.
Yeah, I can hear you.
I can hear you.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, I was muted for a minute. The analogy used to its conclusion. Janitorial workers with a union can actually affect the business. Janitorial workers with worker protections and a contract can actually affect a company. So, you know, it's not so simple as to say, oh, well, they're in that spot, so therefore they can't do anything. Nah, we got pretty good proof of collectivized action actually working. Honestly, that's how we got our greatest gains. There's not a gain we got in this country that didn't come with the spilling of blood and mass organization. And that's every single gain you want to think of. Now, when you say corporation, here's the thing, man. Conspiracy theories, they work when you just say them out. But if you start to really just break them apart, they fall apart. So, no, we're not. This is not a corporation where there's a group of people who control everything and decide everything. Like, it doesn't work. It doesn't work that neatly. Put it like this.
So are you.
Well, I mean, you made your point. I didn't respond. You made your point. I didn't interrupt you. Just let me respond. You know, don't hold on so tightly to your ideas that you don't want them disturbed. Take other people's ideas in play and then see if it works out. So I'll put it to you like this. The 1%ers, or the group that people are always talking about who have the most power in America, they disagree just like every other group. Now, if you tell them tax cuts, oh, hell yeah, they'll come together on that. They all agree on that. But once you start talking about where money is supposed to be allocated and how power is supposed to be allocated, then you see the disagreement. You got people with oil and gas interests. You got people with, out there in Silicon Valley with interests within the internet or working with business as far as manufacturing, things like that. So there's disagreements even amongst that group. There's not this smoke-filled room where people sit up and plot and plan the next 30 years.
Hello?
That's why you see them spending so much. Hold on 1 second, brother. We can hear you, but just hold on 1 second.
No problem. Okay, cool. All right.
That's why you see them spending so much money on voter suppression. I had to wait 4 hours to vote the other day. Why? Because in Georgia, they target where black communities are, shut down polling places, and try to figure out ways to limit the black vote. They ain't spending money on that because they think it don't matter. They know that does have an effect. So they try to hurt that marginal effect as best as they can. And then when it comes to us, we got this idea that our folks just laid down and took everything. I'll give y'all 2 recommendations. Pick up Negroes with Guns by Robert F. Williams, and then look up that Nonviolent Stuff Will Get You Killed. Really good book, talks about some of the fights and battles that them folks had. You go down there, Gator Lake, Mississippi, King comes down. They tell him, look, man, that stuff might work over there where you at, but down here we carry guns. We got to. We dealing with the Klan for real. There was a case where after everybody registered to vote, the newspaper printed their names and addresses so the Klan would know where they were. Klan came through to their little town, Gator Lake, Mississippi. Guess what happened? Them black folks went out on their porch with their rifles and shotguns and ran the damn Klan out their neighborhood. So it ain't this thing to where we was just soft and taking it. And honestly, it's always been a push-pull. You got your revolutionaries and you got your reformers. And honestly, when the revolutionaries people come up who say we'll burn this ish down, that's honestly when we got the most room to maneuver in this country, and we keeping it a buck. That's why they always telling you peacefully protest, because they don't want them brothers and sisters coming out, because those are the ones that scare them, because they can't make the money they make and have the nation that they have if the rest of the world is looking at what they do to black folks. Every time they bring up China's human rights violations, you know what China does? They show them police brutalizing black people and tell America to shut the hell up. So don't think we always been, docile and sitting back. Like, nah, man, we've been fighting for a long time here.
All righty. So
Hello?
I want to give everybody an opportunity to speak. So you have the floor. First of all, tell us where you're calling from.
Well, I'm Nicodemus. I'm calling from Dubai.
Okay. So you have the floor. What's your name?
Nicodemus.
Okay. So you have the floor.
Listen, it's a great topic, but it's a great topic, and I love the fact that the man referenced the book. Cause if you sound like a reader, I want you to get a book called "Meeting at Jekyll Island." Meeting at Jekyll Island. What that does, that'll break down to you exactly how, when you say there's nobody in the room deciding for the next 30 years, there actually is. It actually is. Voting. If voting counted, and if we are who we are, then why is it that every 25 years we're up for the Voting Renewal Act? We don't even have permanent voting rights. Every 25 years we have the president has to sign the bill. But George Bush just did it before Obama got in office. And I heard a young lady say Obama didn't do as much as he wanted to. Obama ain't do shit. Let's be clear here. Obama signed an executive order for dreamers, a.k.a. illegal immigrants, a.k.a. people who get a free college education while you still paying your student loan, a.k.a. getting free Social Security while you might make $2 more to get a daycare. Obama could have signed this. And then also, under his watch, they deemed the 1965 voting rights unconstitutional. Too much shit that slapped us in the face happened under Obama's watch. For us to give him a pass, they set us up. By us giving Obama a pass, we can't say shit about what any other president do to us. We didn't hold him accountable, so how we going to hold anybody else accountable for what the hell they doing? And mind you, Trump is an asshole. But how you black and mad at Trump? Because this is the least time you collectively and selectively got fucked with. He's fucking with everybody. The world ain't hate no United States president until he treated everybody like a quote unquote politically correct word, nigga. The minute he started treating Jews like a nigga, oh hell no. The minute he started treating immigrants like a nigga, oh hell no. The minute he started treating whites like a nigga, oh hell no. But guess what? Any other president coming off this, they fuck with just us. It's the greatest thing in the world. Don't nobody give a damn. Black people ain't never had it. I'm not gonna say easy, but we ain't the absolute target like we always are. I'm not a Trump supporter, so I don't want to be misconstrued. But let's be clear here. Trump fucking with everybody, and ain't nobody ever did that. Obama ain't do shit for you. Obamacare, that bullshit. Obamacare costs so damn much. How the hell we got to pay $200 a month for Obamacare for some shit you get free in Cuba? Cuba got fucking free health, better health care than us, and free. People on Social Security are paying. They're paying for Obamacare. Number one. Then two, there's a penalty premium with it. So let's say you didn't get it. If you got Obamacare outside the window, you're paying $200 a month forever. The penalty never falls off. Yo, it's time to be real here. We don't have permanent voting rights, which Obama could have did that. And another thing, how the hell we talking about what Obama think what Trump should be doing when Trayvon Martin got killed for minding his own fucking business on Obama's watch? What did he say? The jury has spoken. Get the fuck out of here. Now, if we going to call it real, let's call it.
So, I'm sorry. I hit the button too quick. I do want to say this, right? I hear what all of y'all say. The difference that I think for this particular election versus everything else about, I understand what Kim's saying about the janitors, and I understand what y'all saying about everything. The difference this time is the coronavirus hit everybody, and Trump knew about it. He knew about it long before he did anything about it, and he acted like it didn't matter. People lost loved ones, and we're talking every color. People lost businesses, and we're talking about every color, especially Caucasians and big, small business people and all that kind of stuff. People lost stuff. People are still losing stuff. They are literally on the ground trying to gravel and put pieces back together under his administration. No, I don't believe it. I don't feel like he's going to get back in because of the fact that he didn't mess with just black people. It ain't just a black thing. This right here is about people lost loved ones. They lost people. There's people in New York who didn't even get to bury their family. They got to go up and put stuff on online to say that their family member passed away. They didn't even get to bury their family. This was bigger than that. No, I don't see it. They're going to vote with us because it affected them. He affected them.
May I ask a question?
What's the question, baby?
Yes, sir.
Do you know what the Electoral College is? Hello?
I didn't hear what you said.
Hello?
I didn't hear you. What did you say?
Do you guys know what the Electoral College is?
I understand that every state gets a certain number of electoral colleges, and they give the smaller states more because they don't have the bigger voice or something like that, right? Is it something like that?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Oh.
You mentioned,
okay.
Well, I don't know who did, but somebody mentioned the 3/5 compromise. Right? Was that you?
No, that might have been.
Okay, well, someone mentioned that back in the day to vote, only every 3 men could vote. We count it as 1/3.
That was me.
Okay, cool, great. The Electoral College. See, we can't be having these conversations about elections, and we don't know the inside boring aspect. Do you understand? Listen, they put the important shit. They make it real boring, so you don't read that. The Electoral College is nothing but amended, revised 3/5 compromise. Why do you think it exists? And no, it's not the smaller states. That was Lincoln's way of getting the state to come back to the Union after the Civil War was fought. So therefore, give up your slaves for more representation in Congress. That's what the 3/5. That's why you see a lot of the prejudiced slave-owning states with the most representation to come back to the Union. That was Lincoln. That was how Lincoln got them to come back. That's why Hillary Clinton won the popular vote. The popular vote is what the people select. The popular vote is what you as an individual go and pull the lever for. How the hell she win the popular vote, which is the people's vote? But the Electoral College, which is about 1,100 fucking millionaire people.
Who is in their car? Mute your phone. Okay.
The Electoral
College. But
wait. But so
I'm
you
sorry,
will never
I
get a
can't
fair
get it
vote.
to mute, and I apologize. I can't get it to mute.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
Huh?
And they're having a Black Lives Matter march, and there's tons of people right here, so people are blowing. That's what you heard.
Oh, okay. Black Lives Matter. Okay, that's what's up. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Black
So
Lives
I think this will be a
suburbs.
good time. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead, DJ.
No.
What you say?
It's right here in the suburbs.
He got cut off.
So I'm sorry. I'm sorry. So go ahead.
Oh no!
Yeah,
I
I want you to finish saying what she was saying. What was you saying, DJ?
No, I'm sorry. I was telling you why you heard me in the car and I couldn't get it to mute. But go ahead, brother. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah.
You finished what you were saying.
The electoral college is why you were. First of all, the electoral college is why we will never have a fair election. The president is selected, like she said. That's one. Two, we are not a democracy. How many years, every day, have you stood up and said the Pledge of Allegiance? They bamboozle you in your face. You said it every day. To the republic. Look up the definition of a republic and look up the definition of a democracy.
Mm-hmm. I think that all of that, all that you're saying is true, and under normal circumstances, you're right. But like I said, going back to what I said, and then we're going to take a quick break, y'all, and come right back. But going back to what I said, all that's true on a regular, but COVID-19, I just want you to keep that in your mind. That was something that affected every freaking body. Everybody, people lost loved ones. White people lost loved ones. Black people lost loved ones. Chinese people lost. The whole world lost loved ones, and people lost their businesses. And then even when they gave out that money, they didn't even give it to the small business people. People are fed up with this administration, period. So even though what you're saying on regular years, the electoral stuff will count, yeah, I understand that. But this year is different because people lost, and they've been losing over the last 4 years. They're not – no, they're ready. I think the whole world is ready for a change. And so I don't think you can have it. And of course, Trump is going to try to cheat. He's going to try to cheat because that's what he do. But the electoral colleges, I bet you, they go for him.
I really wish. Hold tight. After this show, please Google a lot of things you heard tonight because they were stated incorrectly. And just because somebody is saying something passionately does not mean it's right. Google these terms for yourself.
So
read up on them.
Let me explain to you. Let me explain to you something about our show. And I'm going to mute everybody while I say this, and then we're going to go to a break, and then we're going to come back. So let me explain something to you, sir, about our show. This is completely unscripted. This is a table discussion. Everybody is just talking about how they feel, what their thoughts are. We're just coming together and talking about it collectively. So some stuff we say may not be right, but that's not what this is about. We're unscripted, uncut, unfiltered. So we just say uncensored. We say what we feel, and that's what we leave the table open for, so people can use their freedom of speech, and they can say what they want to say. So I don't want anyone to think there might be some incorrect things we said, but that's our opinion, that's our thoughts, and that's what this is about. So we're going to take a quick break, y'all, because it's heated, it's smoky up in here, and then we're going to come right back. On the move, unscripted, on purpose.
Daybreak is here, a full day ahead. No time for breakfast, I didn't even make my bed. Once work is over and business is done, I'll be headed home to my number one. You are mine, my desire, all that I'm living for. You are my desire, all that I need and more. How did I get so lucky with you. For better or worse, to death do us part. That's us right from the start. Plenty good loving is what you give. It's on point, I'm positive. Once it's over and the work is done, I'll be headed home to my number 100. You, yes, you are my desire. All that I'm living for. You, yes, you are all that I need and more. Out of nowhere, you came into my life. Every day I'm hanging with Mr. Right. Your love is sweeter, sweeter than a honeycomb. Oh, don't worry, baby, I'm coming home to you. Yes, you are, yeah, yeah. All that I need and more, the one that I adore. Everything I ever asked for, you are my desire, yeah. You are my desire, yeah, yeah. My desire, oh, 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 you, oh, you, oh, you, oh, you, I had a feeling that me and you were gonna be down for the long ride. Girl, I had a feeling that the way that you touched me never made me feel so alive. I'm gonna dive right into your body, no I won't lie. Legs in the air, I'm taking you there, run my fingers down your spine. Never a day I'm spending away, wanna be with you all the time. You're the first thing that I think of when I wake up, baby, and you know how to make love. I don't wanna leave your side, I got your back, I know you got mine. Look in your eyes as you stare into mine. Give you the ones over and over again tonight. I did the figures and figured out you were the one who was right. Cause you keep it 100, yeah, you keep it 100.
You got me coming back. I want your body on mine. You take me to places that you make me feel right. Yeah, you've been so real with me, baby. I'm head over heels with you daily. No one could do it like you. Now everything's better with you. This unexpected kind of love must be sent from up above. Just hold me and don't let go of me, love.
The look in your eyes as you stare into mine. Give you the ones over and over again tonight. I did the figures and figured out you were the one who was right. Cause you keep it 100.
Through the years there were times I felt like I was losing my mind. Never thought I'd get to this place where I'd find the peace inside. In the darkness I found my light. I found peace in the tears I've cried. Now I've got a million reasons for life. We can rise if we don't fall, nah, nah. If you're low, now lift your head higher. What's yours, no one can take away. Thank God in every way. Now I see better days, better days. Only better days, better days. We can rise if we don't fall, nah, nah. All the pain, it made me grow stronger. I see better days, better days. Only better days, better days. I remember the times I felt like there was no hope inside. But even when it hurt, I found my worth in the faith to strive. In the darkness, I found my light. I found peace in the tears I've cried. Now I've got a million reasons for life. We can rise if we don't fall, nah, nah. If you're low, now lift your head higher. What's yours, no one can take away. Thank God in every way. Now I see better days, better days. Only better days, better days. We can rise if we don't fall, nah, nah. All the pain, it made me grow stronger. I see better days, better days. Only better days, better days. Better days. If you're alone, feel broken, with so many words left unspoken, let it be heard, let your heart open. Now is the time, now is the time. If you're alone, feel broken, with so many words left unspoken, let it be heard, let your heart open. Now is the time, now is the time. We can rise if we don't fall, nah, nah. If you're low, now lift your head higher. What's yours, no one can take away. Thank God in every way. Now I see better days, better days. Only better days, better days. We can rise if we don't fall, nah, nah. All the pain, it made me grow stronger. I see better days, better days.
On some make money, boy, shit, I'm loyal. When you stitched all the bills, they will fall with you. Hey, make money, sit, I'm loyal. When you put up in the Porsche, they gon' flip with you. Make money, sit, I'm loyal. You gotta look good, just don't call it back. I said make money, boy, shit, I'm loyal. Yeah, woman, boy, better do your thing. Boy, know that you love me. Hey, and I know that you need me. Hey, but you don't make money, you don't make sense. Be the man of the house, better take charge. More money, less problems. I don't care what you know, that's my fight through. Hey, boy, know what you're going through. Making money is never easy. I've been there where you tryna be. It's a process when you broke, nigga. Money back, so better than a body bag. I ain't searching your grind just to kill, nigga. Hey, I've been there where you tryna be. It's a process when you broke, nigga. Money back, so better than a body bag. I ain't searching your grind just to kill, nigga. Hey, I'm some make money, boy, shit, I'm loyal. When you stitched all the bills, they gon' fall with you. Hey, make money, sit, I'm loyal. When you put up in the Porsche, they gon' flip with you. Make money, sit, I'm loyal. You gotta look good, just don't call it back. I said make money, boy, shit, I'm loyal. Yeah, woman, boy, better do your
My
thing.
loyalty to the money. I'm coming from the struggle in the streets. That's why I hustle. I put my life on the line. Now I'm scheming and plotting in this game of crime. Fool, I'm dying. grind for mine. Working through the guidelines, you can see the sweat in my palms. My nature is calm, and I'm coming from the jungle in the streets of the slum. And I walk a different beat, hear the bass from the drum. Represent where I'm from, even though it's from the bottom, niggas straight from the crumb. Now I'm busting my ass just to earn income. Trapping 24/7 just to feed my fam. Making moves through the night, trying to avoid the scams. I'm trying to avoid the scams. Let's go.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. See them love ya. See them love ya. Also make money, boys. See them love ya. When you $6 bills, they gon' fuck with you. Hey, make money, see them love ya. When you put up in the Porsche, they gon' fuck with you. Make money, see them love ya. You gotta look good, just don't call it back. I said make money, boys. See them love ya. Yeah, woman, boy, better do your thing.
You have tuned in to another episode of On the Move Unscripted on Purpose, where we have our discussions once a week, me and the ladies and the callers, and it's been heated today. I swear to goodness, it's been heated. All righty. Did y'all take a break? Did y'all go get y'all something to drink? Did y'all calm down? Are y'all ready to roll back into this again? Hello. Oh, don't ask now.
May I please say something? May I please say something?
Yes, sir. Say something.
You got the brother who said we need to fact check everything. And I'm be honest with you. I believe so. We are calling ourselves educated. Actually, we assume roles of philosophers, exchanging our ideas. And if one of us happen to be misinformed, I think that's important. That helps us be strong with our ideas. Nothing like facts to strengthen your case or amend your case, or maybe realize you've been fighting the wrong fight for so long. That's why we so gung-ho on the wrong. We went a long way, but a lot of us went the wrong way. It's okay to stop because it's never too late to turn around. But a lot of us will not research our facts. We base it on what we think, what we know, and we keep going. So I appreciate brother saying that, and I do think that's a good idea. But I will say, and I understand your beef as far as Trump goes, but you have to understand, I am economics. Every 10 years, there's a reset. COVID-19, when you are resetting your wealth, when you make it seem like a natural disaster, you are better to accept it. This started all the way from the 30s. The Great Depression was not by chance. How can something just happen by the act of God that has to do with paper money man-made that means nothing but what you believe it to mean? That $5 in your pocket is only worth $5 because you accept the belief it's $5. Every 10 years, they transfer the wealth. Wealth is not lost. It's transferred. I'm a trader. I do this by trade. Wealth is not lost; it's transferred. And when you convert it with a natural disaster, the people will accept it. Think about it. Some people's mortgage it still ain't even fucking above water in fucking Georgia right now. We accepted that shit because they made it look like a natural disaster. Understand how the mind works. Your subconscious mind is 18 times stronger than your conscious mind. So when you get hit with subliminal messaging, your mind is an instrument of repetition. Once you see something, I'm gonna give you a prime example. Let's take rape. And please, if anyone, I apologize, but I have to take something so drastic so you get my point. Let's take rape. Rape is horrific. It is absolutely the worst thing I can think of. But understand, because we watch 18,000 episodes of SVU, of 100,000 ways to rape somebody, because rape is at every damn television and your mind keeps seeing it, a lot of times, unless it happens to you, we have to check ourselves and make ourselves think about rape as horrific as it is, because we've been so entertained by it that it's not that horrific instantly and subconscious and consciously. We have to actually sit down and talk with ourselves. We should be mad. But we turn the TV on and be entertained by all type of shit that we used to be affected on. That's feeding your subconscious. This is way bigger than what we're talking about. This is science. That's why they're laughing at us. They're laughing at us arguing over some shit we won't even take the time to understand. This is mental warfare. While this is a subconscious warfare. We fighting it live. We fighting with a conscious mind. Your subconscious is 18 times stronger. We have to research and we have to take time and look into these boring ass facts. The idea, if you want to hide stuff from a black person, put it in a book. That's not true. That's not true. Actually, they had a campaign to abolish all the black bookstores back in the day. That was under I think it was Nixon. I'm not sure, but that was a whole a CIA covert operation. But understand, if you make it boring, we ain't gonna fucking go there. That's why the simplest shit all they do is use boring ass and confusing ass words, and we won't touch it. That's why we fighting so hard. We have no business arguing about voting when we don't know the voting process. We don't. If voting was legit and fair and square, we would not have the Electoral College. And if you were mad about the 3/5 compromise, all they did was change the name. So, my sister, please look that shit up and prepare to be mad again. It's nothing but
I would say this is that it's not just war of the mind, but this is a spiritual war as well. I mean, for anybody who is spiritual, it's more than what you can see. In all honesty, it goes way
That's
beyond
what the subconscious is.
That's what the
subconscious is with your chakras. The chakras are spiritual, but you still have to know what the enemy is doing. And if you're not going to educate yourself on what the enemy is doing, that's why we get it wrong every fucking time. Because only think about it. We watch the fucking news, the white people news, which are cousins of the motherfuckers who just did what the fuck they did to you. We take their ammunition that they say use this to fight the war with. Do you fucking think they're gonna give you the nuclear missile to blow us the fuck up? No, you're gonna be blowing up the wrong shit every time. They are the cousins of the people who did this to you. If anyone here watch documentaries, please watch and fact check a documentary called Money Masters by Bill Myers, and it will blow your mind on how this shit really works. And I suggest
what's it called? What's it called?
Money Masters. Money Masters by Bill Myers. It's a 3-hour documentary. Please have a notebook, have a lot of juice, and please be prepared to let this be a week-long watch, because you will have to pause some of this shit and fact-check it. And when you find out what they actually did, the evil in this fucking place, it will blow your mind. Demons, I agree. This is a spiritual fight, but understand, you have to know what the spirit's agenda is. The spirits are working through evil fucking people. You have to understand. It still don't exclude you from knowing their agenda. We lose every time fighting surface bullshit. We're about to lose right now. Nothing we.
Why are you whispering? Why are you whispering? Like, why are you whispering? You acting like they
sorry for whispering. Well, I apologize if I'm whispering, but I'm out. I'm out on my balcony, and it's like 5 o'clock in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning here. So I apologize.
Oh wow. But
the thing is, we have to understand what we up against, and we don't take the time to find out. We want to do surface shit and run with it. Our facts be wrong, our agenda be wrong, and they put this out there for mass distraction. They put this out there for mass distraction. And I'm gonna be honest, Trump is out here. Trump is a genius. He's an asshole, but he's a smart one. Why? Because he got us fighting on 10 for shit that don't even matter. To where we ain't gonna have enough energy to fight the real fight.
Why are you? Wait a minute. What do you mean? Police brutality does matter. Like, social issues do matter. So I don't.
Wait, no.
I mean, we're all in this.
Let me explain that.
When you say things that don't matter, I'm just.
Okay, wait, no. Trump is not. Trump ain't saying nothing about police brutality not being an issue. I'm saying the sidebar shit, that shit that he did with the photo op. The shit that he's saying on TV, He changed the meaning of the kneeling. Change the meaning of your kneeling. People wasn't only person who was kneeling before the day and before all this shit was Kaepernick and a couple other people. When Trump told them white boys, don't fucking, you better not let them kneel, the white boys said, well, you can't tell us what to do with our boys. Now the kneel became a protest on you ain't telling us what to do. He changed the whole meaning of the fucking kneeling. That's why the kneeling ain't a threat no more. He changed the meaning, and he got us fighting over. I'm not going to take down the Confederate. I'm not going to take down the Confederate names of the. Who gives a fuck? But we fighting and arguing over that. I'm not talking about police brutality, but all these sidebar issues that we going so hard on, we ain't gonna have enough energy for the real fight. We done exhausted. We exhausted our energy on bullshit that they gave us to fight with, to fight on, and none of it means a goddamn thing. If they took down the goddamn, if they changed the name to Kuta fucking Kente, who gives a fuck? What did that do for you? You still going back to your underdeveloped, economically unfair ass life with nothing to do, and you're still going back to your same shit. Trump got you arguing over shit that does not matter. And police brutality is not included in that. That does matter. But all these sidebar issues, let's be clear here. Name one of them that benefits the fuck us. If he takes the name down or not, who the fuck really cares? It would be nice, but we're fighting on 10 for that. When the real fight comes, do you think you can last that long?
I do feel like the country is trying. I do feel like the country sees Trump for who and what's going on for who they are. So okay. I do feel like there is a beginning of change. I do. I don't want to stamp out the seed before it even has a chance to sprout. Like I do see them at least addressing and they're trying. So give them a chance.
I would love to hear your answer on this one. If you don't mind, I would love to hear your answer on this one. You. If you believe
me,
that,
Patricia?
Then who's talking right now? Yeah. I would answer me this. Then if the country is trying, if you believe that, then why did everybody have to wait to get permission to speak on this shit, to make sure they get permission? The black people speaking, you had to get permission. Mind you, nobody was kneeling until white people gave you permission to kneel. Mind you, all these fucking prominent leaders, they didn't say a fucking word until white people were mad enough to make this a valid fight. Nobody was jumping out their fucking tree and get a target on their back until it became a white fight. White people was mad. That's why, since now white people mad, now we can voice our fucking opinion. But if white people never got mad, they would take T.D. Jakes. He lives in Dallas, Texas. How many opportunities do he have to speak his fucking mind? And he don't. He spoke his mind one time, and that's when the cop, the black man got shot, and they retaliated and shot the cop. He spoke for peace. He didn't have to take a side. Our fight need permission. Black Lives Matter is white founded, white funded. The Koch brothers founded, i.e. white people founded NAACP. If we can control how people agree to deal with an issue, we control the people. Voting.
So we have another caller who wants to jump into this conversation. I want to give everybody an opportunity to speak.
Let's do it.
So, your phone number is 593.
Oh, hi.
Hello. Hi. You're calling from Columbus, Ohio?
Yeah, I'm calling from Columbus.
Okay.
My name is Kiki. This is my first time listening.
Hi, Kiki.
I've been listening. Hi. I've been listening to what the gentleman has been saying, and I don't know. I just think that we as black people just have to stay positive, and the things that we are doing are the right things, and the right things as far as taking steps to having some equality in this nation. It's not just about the man who, George Floyd, who was killed. It's about all the George Floyds. It's about all the black people. It's about our educational system. It's about our healthcare system. I am a disabled Marine Corps veteran, and I'm also a nurse. And, I hear there are a lot of different views taken, but we have made progress from look at where we were enslaved and now we're not. So each time we do something to stand up for ourselves, we get a little bit further. And this is something we may not see in our time, but we maybe in our grandchildren's time or in our, in our kids when they're older in their time. I'm 50, my kids are in their 30s or late 20s, and I have a 9-year-old. And the March on Washington is August 28th, which is my 9-year-old's 10th birthday. And I've already made reservations, flight reservations, and a hotel reservations to be there. And I'm going to take her there so she can see this is a part of history. If we do nothing, then we can expect nothing. Voting is just one part of what we can do. And yes, we didn't get a lot of attention because of, until white people start speaking up. But white people are a part of our world. They're a part of our society. So yay for them and yay for us too. And because of COVID, people were at home. There are a lot of things that people couldn't do. So when they showed those videos of George Floyd with the police knee on his neck, and people had to see it. You couldn't avoid it. You couldn't go golfing. You couldn't go to the movies. You couldn't go to this party. You couldn't do this. We're sitting at home watching the news trying to see, how bad we are off with the pandemic. And COVID is not a natural disaster. It's a scientific disaster, whether someone put it in play to, directly or not. It's here, and I do believe what you're saying about being a spiritual warfare as well. It's always spiritual. Life is spiritual if that's something you believe in, period. It's always a spiritual warfare. And it's just about having hope and being positive. And we can do what we can do, what we have in this time, and I believe that we're doing that. I believe that rioting and looting are necessary evils when you protest. There's no protest that has gotten any change that hasn't been violent in some kind of way, ever. So,
right.
Yeah, that's kind of all I have to say. But,
I like what you said about the March on Washington. I've been seeing that flyer go around. It's August 28th at 12. And I just had somebody else tell me that they had already booked their hotel, and so it's going to be a big march. I definitely know that because I've been seeing it going around. I even shared it myself, and I had a friend tell me about it. So yeah, March August 28th at 12 p.m. March on Washington. So I definitely did hear that.
Yeah, we got a round trip flight for $96 per person off of I have to look at my email. Priceline. Yeah, we went to Priceline.com and the tickets were $96 for a round-way trip.
Oh, okay.
But I want to be a part of it. I want to be a part of that history, no matter what happens. I think every little bit helps. Every little bit helps. You can't.
I think it's going to be great. I think it's going to be great. I think it's going to be great. I find it amazing that we're fighting against the same people we fight against are the people who's going to make all the money. That's why you have to apply for that place. So even though it's a part of history, your enemy is making your money. We don't own hotels. We don't own planes. And you have to apply for that place. So how can your fight empower and enrich your enemy that you're fighting against? That's why I was so against the Million Man March. That's why I was so against the Justice or Else. They made millions off of us.
We have to use what we have, and right now we don't have
right.
it. But that's what we're fighting for. Right. We're asking for policy changes. We're asking for changes
I hate to
make that happen so black people can really own some stuff.
You know what you have? Do you know what you have? What you have is outside your house. If you can go to Washington to protest and march your ass in your backyard at your local grocery stores, your local bank, your local this, your local that. Marching don't give a fuck about us. But your town do, your city do, your municipality do. If you're not going to be uncomfortable locally, Don't nobody give a damn about you being on con for a day nationally and go back and do all that. If you want to make a change, you have to make a change where you are.
We are doing things. We are doing things here, and we are all talking about. Like I went to go get something to eat. I didn't go to McDonald's when I wanted to eat out, and unfortunately there are no black grocery stores, and I have to eat and feed my child. So that's what we have. We have to work with what we have. But I went to a black restaurant to get my food today. You know, the more we can, we'll support black businesses. But we also, as black people, we have to stand up. And to me, as far as what we have to do as black people is separate than this, because we haven't given the power to have the power to be able to police ourselves and our own people. Right now, we're under the neck of the police, the white people. They're the ones who police us because we don't have no power. But we're fighting. We have to start somewhere. We can't just say, oh, we don't got this. We ain't getting this. We ain't going. So fucking what? Like you said, we don't have it, but we're going to fight for something. We're going to get something. And then the next generation, the next people, next year, somebody going to do something else. We're going to get something else until it happens. Right. But everybody has their place in history. Everyone has their place in the fight. Just like Martin Luther King had his place. His place did not go in vain. We do have a lot more rights and a lot more stuff than we did then. So we are getting somewhere. It took years to of slavery. So we all know it's over 400 years. So it's going to take over 400 years just to break even, to even the slate, to move forward. But you got to do it. You got to get on the. You got to get on the treadmill. You got to get on the trail. Or you're not going to never get to a finish line, period.
So we have another caller that's actually calling from out of the country, and I want to give everybody an opportunity to speak. So, caller, you're on. You have the floor. I believe you're an international caller. Hi,
hello,
how are you doing? What's
how's
your name?
Everyone on the panel?
We are doing fine. I actually had to mute everybody because this is a very passionate discussion. So in order to make sure that everybody gets the opportunity to speak, I have to kind of, mute them and then unmute them and mute them. And I hate doing that, but you know how it is. We all want to talk at the same time, and then we can't hear each other. So where are you calling
Not
from?
a problem. Not
where
it's not a problem with me at all.
Okay, where are you calling from?
California.
Oh, okay. I don't know why your number came up like it was international. So I'm sorry. So say your name and how would you like to contribute to the topic?
Okay. Well, my name is Juju. Firstly, now I have two comments and a question, and I'm going to be brief about this. My first comment is this. So, in listening to the sister who was just on, and she mentioned that she was a Marine, a retired Marine, and I want to thank her for her service. Firstly, let me say that. Secondly, she mentioned that rioting was a necessary evil, right? She also mentioned that if we do nothing, then we can expect nothing. Now, as it relates to rioting being a necessary evil, to know, my question to her is going to be this. Of all the rioting that has gone on throughout the vacuums and time that black folks have participated in, which community that was burned down and ravaged was rebuilt for black folk? See, because I know the answer, but I want to know if she understands the answer.
You said which community was as far as Rosewood or in Tulsa?
Any riot. I don't care where the riots were. I want to know if she can tell me which of those communities that were burned down and rioted were rebuilt for black folk.
I don't know.
None of them.
I don't.
Not one.
I don't, but the reason why I say that is because sometimes people are angry. People get angry, and it makes sense to be angry. I'm angry about what happens. No, I'm not the one rioting, but no one has gotten anything accomplished, no one has listened when nothing was done. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's something that I believe in, but it's nothing has happened. Nobody listens.
Right. Okay, so I can understand that, but understand this. we cannot tell people how to hurt and how to express those emotions. But we can tell them that they're just going to be angry with no grocery store, with no infrastructure, and they'll just have to be mad. You understand what I'm saying? Because if you don't, well, let me finish.
Can you say that again? I don't.
Oh no, I'm saying if they're angry and they're mad about the goings on, I can understand that, and we cannot tell them how they should navigate those emotions. But what I can tell them is that when they burn down the stores and the infrastructure in their community, and they never come back, then what happens is they have a blighted community. The property values go even further down, and once they leave and scatter, someone else will come in and gentrify. And I believe that's what's going to happen. Every area that has been rioted, those people are going to end up being pushed to the blighted parts of Texas or Iowa or Oklahoma or, I don't know, some flyover state, right? Because you're not going to get what you need by burning your own community down. Those stores that are burned, they have insurance. And some of them were probably burning their own stores, but they're going to use you as the catalyst and the reason as to why they can collect their insurance money. I think black people don't have a plan. And I think that's why they are always used as a scapegoat or the straw man for anything that anybody wants done.
So I'm sorry to interrupt. Is there maybe another device that's playing the show? If you could turn that down or mute it, because it's distorting.
It's not me.
Call.
I don't have another device on.
Oh, okay. It must be somebody else because it's gone. I'm sorry. I just wanted to make sure. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead and finish.
Okay, and the other thing I wanted to mention was she also brought up, and I'm so glad she said this. She said, "If you do nothing, you can expect nothing." That's a very powerful quote, and I want to put that to the black woman of America, because black women do something for everything and for everyone, but they never do anything for themselves. I would like to know how you all feel about that.
I love it.
Yeah.
Oh well. Okay. So
it.
hold on. Let Kim. Who wanted to speak? Who wanted to answer her on that? Who was? I want to. Who was it that just said something?
I
love it.
What you shared, I see your point, and I see everyone's point as far as tearing down the neighborhood. I say it's a necessary evil because you're going to have people that are angry that do stuff like that, and I think it's just a way to just to feel it, to say I hear you, it's the way the country says I hear you, we have protest. It's happened in a different situation. Pro-life and pro-choice, those issues as well. But I do hear you.
System disarmed, not ready to arm.
And I can't speak for the other cities and states, but for the city of Columbus, to my knowledge, a lot of the tearing up and looting was downtown. It was not in the inner city neighborhoods. It was not in the community. They took it downtown. And that caught a lot of attention. Because now people who normally would be like, well, there they go tearing up their neighborhood. We didn't do that shit. We did not do that shit this time. This time we took it to where you have no choice but to see us. You have no choice but to see us. You have no choice. And you're going to have to do something. You're going to have to do something.
Yeah. Right. That's true. That's true. Wow. This has been a really, sensitive and deep topic. Everybody has their different views, and I just want to say this: some people are not speaking off of facts. Some people are speaking off of emotions or whatever. But what they feel about the situation is still valid to them. So I understand what the two gentlemen were saying about research your facts and all that kind of stuff, so that you can come with knowledge, and that's definitely true. We need to always research things, but still, if a person is speaking about how they feel about it, you still have to respect that, because that's their feelings, and that's really what this platform is for. It's for people to express that freedom of speech, where you're able to express how you feel. And so some of that feeling may not come from a logical place or from a place of knowledge, but just from how you feel. But that's what this platform is for. So I just want to say that, I just want to say that everybody feels differently. And it doesn't mean that what you feel about the situation is wrong, because that's your feeling from your perspective, and that's how you see it. So everybody's different.
That's true. But I do respect what he said, though, because I didn't even know it was a name for when we counted 3 people counted as one. Because it's been a long time since I done cracked open my history book. But I will apply that for our future talks. When I come to the table, I'm going to have dates and facts, and I'm still going to put my emotion and my feelings on how I feel about it. But I would rather come with facts. That way, I got my receipt.
You plan on coming with ammunition. I got you. I understand, Rich. I understand. That's for sure. So I want to say something about the march. I understand what he's saying, definitely, because when we go to get our tickets, of course, that we don't own the airplanes. When we go and get our hotels, of course, we don't own the hotels. I understand all of that, but I still feel it's important for us to come together and march about how we feel. If you don't want to, get an airplane drive, or however you need to do it that makes you feel good. But I feel like African American people have a hard time, in my opinion, really come together when they need to. So if this is the time that everybody wants to come together to fight for what they believe, then I would encourage that always. You know what I'm saying? Fight for what you believe, I would not discourage anyone from doing what they feel like their contribution is. But I'm like you. I do respect what he said, because he came with knowledge. You know what I'm saying? You came with knowledge, and you can't never not respect knowledge. He came with knowledge. He came with wisdom. He came with information that we didn't know, and that's what's up. That's what it's about. So I just don't want anyone who has different feelings to feel like, okay, well, my feelings must be wrong, or how I feel about it must be wrong, because it's not, written in stone. But your feelings are still valid. How you feel about it, your perspective is still valid. So if you feel like marching is what you want to do, and your contribution to the situation, then march. You know what I'm saying? If you feel like it's not, then don't. But respect everybody's perspective is what I'm trying to say.
That's good.
Well, I love it, and I do respect everybody's feelings. If I may say, sometimes our feelings are based on misinformation, and I'm not pertaining to anything specific. Feelings are a collective conglomerate of elements, factors, vibrations, and frequencies. If we get it wrong, we are feeling appropriately and correctly on the wrong shit. I'm not saying you shouldn't march, but I'm saying let's pay attention to what the march is doing. We got to take that. See, why do you think they give us these marches every so many years? They have to approve this space. You can't. Nobody just meeting there. This has to be applied for. If it was working, why would they honor the application? Number one. Number two, we will agree to meet and march there, but what about right now? Forget protesting. I understand it's only one grocery store, but how about only spend your necessities? What a great opportunity to fast. This grocery store ain't getting $500 of my money. They only getting the bare necessities, because half the shit in the cart is poison anyway. We have to be uncomfortable in our revolution. And if you're not willing to do that, we are wasting our time and going to have no voice because we screaming about nothing. Are there any black banks in the community? Guess what? if there are any black banks in the community. I mean, we have to be uncomfortable. And if you're not willing to be uncomfortable in your home, turn the TV off, cancel subscriptions. There is shit we could do every day while we're on this phone. While we're on this phone. Before we get to Washington, I'm not saying don't go. But damn it, if Washington is important to you, there is some shit right now that's even more important and even more effective. Bankrupt your municipality to include you in the wealth. Out there in Washington, that's going to change reform and laws. They ain't never cutting you a check. But in your community, when these white businesses are going out of business, and I love what she said because a lot of this rioting is about insurance. Think about it. These businesses have been closed for 90 days for coronavirus, correct? Do you think that their prime products were in the store? They were in storage. So guess what? We see an opportunity. We ain't got a dime in 90 fucking days. We get to having your store burnt down and looted is the equivalent of having a sale full price and everybody buying your shit out full price. This is a blessing for them. This is a blessing for them. Please understand. This is a blessing. They so happy that this dude died and we reacted the way he acted so they can go burn their own shit down because they broke too. And now we're about to get a payday that pays for the renovation of our store, pays for all our inventory, including the inventory that I'm about to mark up, that I'm about to say was in the store, that I took out of the store because it was worth too much. Let's be pragmatic and let's be strategic about what we're saying, about what we're doing, about what's going on here. If we're not going to be uncomfortable at home, then what the fuck is Washington going to do? The grocery store? Cut your spending down. Reduce that shit in half, because half the shit is poison anyway. Half the shit you don't need anyway. Turn that TV off. Cancel some subscriptions. Read a book with your family. Find out what's going on in your child's life. And I'm not saying anybody on this call, but I'm giving examples. We have to fucking be uncomfortable right now. Fuck Washington. That is the way to, okay, you know what? I can't wait to get to Washington to express how I feel. They're laughing at you. They approve that. That's white approval for you to express your plight. That's white approval because you have to apply for that. Farrakhan, that's why I didn't do that Million Man March bullshit. You have to apply for that. And they have to approve you to have that space at that time. But
I do want to say this. With the Million Man March, they do think it would be a lot of fights and a lot of violence, and it was zero. It was zero. A million
so
men of color.
I can't hear you, Maria. Congratulations, grown-ass men ain't fight. Congratulations, grown-ass men ain't fight. But he did nothing for the cause. He took that money. He took that money, and what you get from it? He took your money with Chicago. What? He didn't give you a fucking dollar. Even this Justice Soros shit. He took the poor people's money. He ain't did shit. He had like 80 damn or else moments to put his or else card. He ain't did shit. He ain't even send a fucking lawyer. So let's be clear here. So what? We didn't fight. Are you serious? That just shows the level. That just shows the level of for lack of a better term, animalism and just how much faith we don't have in ourselves. We didn't fight. Whip-de-doo. But what did we get out of it? What did we get out of it? Besides a couple $1 million gone.
We came together.
The man that was on the phone.
There's hope. For hope. For us.
The man that was on the phone earlier, he said something very important that I think everybody need to remember. We have, and the young lady said too, we have come a long way. We're not where we want to be, but damn it, we're not back in the 17th century either. And the reason why we're not is because we fought in our ways. I can imagine there were slaves on the plantation that said, "Why are you trying to run? It don't even make no difference. You ain't doing that, but this, that, and here." I could see the conversations probably happening when these slaves were thinking about running away, or even the riots, the different riots. Like they said, the riots, as horrible as it is, whatever, it did continue to make change, which is why you don't have to drink out of just a black fountain. You can drink out of any fountain you want. We have made change. Change has happened, and change continues to happen. I do understand what he's saying about finances and stop using certain things, you know what I'm saying, that's going to put more money in their pocket and hurt them financially, because we are a big spending, community, African Americans or whatever. But we have come a long way, because if we wasn't, we would still be back in them slaves on them cotton plantations, still picking that cotton, still doing all that kind of stuff that they were doing back then. So our people have fought to get here. We cannot look at what our ancestors did and not appreciate that. Can you imagine walking from freaking Georgia to Ohio with no freaking shoes on in the winter, in snow or whatever, trying to get to freedom, trying to get away from your slave master? Like, you can't. Our ancestors went through a lot. So I'm not saying we shouldn't still. Things evolve, so we should definitely always continue to evolve. But you cannot ignore what our ancestors gave up and lost, and the people who died to get where we are right now. You know what I'm saying?
I absolutely don't. I love it. I love what they've done for us.
We're still on a plantation. You just have the right to pick which one you want to be on. It's the same shit. The plantation just looks different. You're still on the plantation. You're still under a master's orders. You can just pick the one you want this time. I'm gonna mute myself completely out. I'm done.
Let me just tell you, there's a couple economic withdrawals going on. On June 19th and 20th, they still want us to celebrate that. They begin economic withdrawal boycotts on June 21st of this year. Then Saturday, July 4th, is a blackout. They said don't do no TV, no 4th of July celebrations or cookouts, no red, white, blue, because in 1776, black people weren't free. We were not free at that time. So that's not really for us. No shopping, no 4th of July sales. That's how you boycott. That's how you make a difference, because black people generate billions in this country.
That's not how you make a difference. If you ain't going to sit your ass down for the month, what the fuck is a day? Sit your ass down for the month, starting right now. If you're not willing to be uncomfortable, you're just playing. Period. You're going to be uncomfortable in this shit. Bottom line. And I'm going to be honest with you.
You're right. You must be uncomfortable. You absolutely must. I 100% agree with you on that.
So the hell with one day. Start right now. We ain't buying nothing we don't absolutely need. Guess what's going to happen? By default, by protesting, they ain't going to have no money, and you're going to have more money than you thought you would have. Do something productive with that shit. Start a business with that shit. Put some money in the bank with that shit. And you realize how much money you spend on bullshit that you absolutely don't need, and how much you are funding a subscription on getting your ass kicked. Because half the shit you buy funds you getting your ass beat every day.
All righty, so that was very deep, and I had to cut it short because our show's about to end, and I didn't want anybody to get cut off. We had a powerful show today on The Move Unscripted on Purpose. We'll be back again next Thursday, 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I'm sure we're going to have some juicy topics to talk about again then. But until then, I'll see y'all next week. Sorry, y'all. Love y'all. Bye.
Let's go, baby. Checking my trunk, so let me back it up. Twin turbo, baby, so maybe I'm just a bit too much. Your seatbelt's needed, cause I am a speeder. Hold on, once you get inside, I'll take you on a joyride. Tell me, baby, can you handle it? I can make it happen. Put this thing in overdrive. I'ma make it roll. If I let you have a wheel,
losing control. Let's go, baby. Let me see you ride it out. Wait a minute, I think we need to slow it down. You're moving too fast. See my dash, max out at 95. I'm trying to keep up. Better yet, I'm trying to stay alive.
Tell me, baby, can you handle it?
Girl, I'm about to bust a tie.
Put this thing in overdrive.
Got my engine out of fire.
If I let you have the wheel, tell me, can you drive me wild? Make it worth my while.
The girl is going now.
Let's go, baby. Don't be scared to press on the gas. It's hard to handle. Then get a better grip with your hands. Get ready to rock, 'cause I'm ready to go. I'm just letting you know I'll make you lose control.
I think I'm losing it. 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 I think I'm losing control.
You say that you're a pro, but I see you're out of breath. You need to fall back and re-evaluate yourself. No time for rookies. If you want some cookies, put your hand in the jar. Make your way to my boudoir. Tell me, baby, can you handle it? I can make your head spin. Put this thing in overdrive. I'm gonna make you want it. If I let you have a wheel, tell me, can you drive me wild? Make it worth my while.
The girl is going now.
Let's go, baby. Don't be scared to press on the gas. It's hard to handle. Then get a better grip with your hands. Get ready to rock, 'cause I'm ready to go. I'm just letting you know I'll make you lose control.
I think I'm losing it. 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 I think I'm losing control.